back, or in order to put a jack shaft on the bike and put a bigger swing arm and bigger back tire and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It does have a bearing on the outer case that goes over the front sprocket, an extra bearing there. Whereas your sprocket on a regular little 50 would only just be bolted to the motorcycle. This one has a circlip that holds the sprocket in, and the shaft goes out further. And then when you put that side cover on and bolt it on, there's a bearing in it. So that's actually pretty cool that there's an extra bearing on the other side there. But yeah, it's a cool little bike. It has like a 17-inch front tire and a 15-inch back tire. It's got a little bit of a rake to it and stuff. You can just look. It's actually just called the Pagsta 50. But anyway, that's nothing. That's not what we're talking about. We know you're like, I ride an ultra classic. I'm just saying, I picked up this bike for a little of nothing, and we'll turn it into a few $100. And guess what? Out of that, we'll probably end up with a better mixing board and maybe something for you guys for the studio. Because, we're constantly improving, constantly working on our sound quality, trying to bring you guys better programming, maybe some interviews. Maybe we'll head out to the racetrack. And I was looking earlier, I watched the drag races on Sunday. I guess they were at Pomona. And Shark Racing is the Nitro Harley right out of Humble. So maybe we'll get with them and we'll see what's going on with the Nitro Harley guys that are all brand new this year. And what's what with that, because that was pretty cool. Talking 1,000 horsepower on a fucking V-twin, guys. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And that's what my buddy Chris Ryder reminds me. I'm like, yeah, man, maybe someday I'll have a Nitro Harley. And he's like, what about the fucking those motherfuckers exploding and like making people have a heart attack from the chest compression and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, that's I know. I mean, I spent a few years on a Top Fuel funny car, on a Nitro funny car, and a Top Fuel dragster crew. So I know a little bit about Nitro. So it was kind of, I like that smell. I like the way the Nitro gets in your system, and you start to miss it. You're like, I need some Nitro, methane, baby, CH3 and O2. But yeah, I think I'd probably be better suited for like a turbo, some kind of turbo pro stock type bike. You know what I'm saying? Something more along the lines of what Angel Senpei rides. That would be cool. I'd like to get her last year's bike, man. I'd like to see her get some more Wallies. Oh, so yeah, in the old drag racing world, maybe we will tap right back into what's going on in drag racing. AMA Supercross is kicking butt. It's not, I haven't heard about it coming coming to Houston yet. And I used to say so up with all of the Supercross everything, guys. So I need to get back in tune with that. We need to make it a note for Life Behind Bars Robcast. We need to definitely do a segment on Supercross. I know on the past shows we've talked about some new bikes coming out. We got some more new bikes coming out. Electric motorcycles. They are putting the new Harley engine in some smaller bikes now instead of just the Ultra. So that's going to be super badass to see those. See how they perform. Is it really way more performance? I think they went up to 117 cubic inches or some shit like that. Something crazy. 1600 cc's instead of 1340. But that new what's it called? Damn it. The Harley 8, the Detroit 8 or something like that. What the fuck is it, guys? My producer's not here. He would chime in, and Flip normally helps me out on stuff like that. And this evening I'm just fucking going with the flow. Because really, look, it's like this too. The sound studio here is it's relatively soundproof, but sometimes there's chickens barking, And my mother next door, and with the TV on so loud that I can hear it over me and the headphones and you guys, and you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just gotta go when I can go. Sometimes whenever it's kind of quiet out, it's a quiet evening, you don't hear a lot of loud music and stuff like that. It's kind of the best time for me to get on here, and mainly because it's been too damn long. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just sit down and say, look, dude, you got to get back with your peeps and let them know you haven't gone anywhere. You're going to continue to bring them some good programming about once a week or so. And we'll all talk about what we love, motorcycles, what's going on in your world, what's in your garage. What's in my garage? Well, there's a 1600cc Volkswagen trike that has, like a Harley tank, big fucking ape-hanger handlebars. It's got like an ultra front fairing on it and Indian fenders all the way around. What else? I've got I've got the metric Softail with the 1300cc Yamaha motor in it. They're pretty badass little bike that I picked up last year that I will ride this summer. Got the Rebel 250. Now we've got the little Pagsta 50. We've got the Yamaha Zuma 50 scooter for, that's the pit bike. In my bedroom, I've got the 2003 AMA Supercross Carmichael 250 up in that biatch, sitting there on a stand. It hasn't been ridden since 2004 or 5. Probably 5. I might have cranked it up and I did crank it up in 10 and just rode it down the riverbank and back and put it back in my truck and put it away. The engine gets spun over on it, but that's one of those. It's a showpiece that I've saved for my grandkids. Kind of a part of racing history type deal. Just picked up. Didn't even know what a Montesa is. Is it a Montesa? A Montesa. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but my brother-in-law gave me a Montesa, a 1974, it looks like, or 75, 73, 4 or 5 Montesa. And its engine's big. It looks like it's at least a 250, could be a 350. And looking at pictures, it really looks like the one called the Demon. The King Demon 350 is what I think it is. I'm not sure. It's either that or I think there was a King Demon 250 too. I'm not sure. But yeah, picked up the old Montesa. Didn't pick it up. My brother, like I said, went and talked with my brother and talked to my brother-in-law. And after he gave me trouble for wearing a helmet, I'll get over that one quick. Then, I was like, you don't, it never hurts to ask, guys. If you don't ask, you don't get. I say, you don't have any old motorcycles laying around. Oh, yeah, only that one over there, but it's junk. So I look, and they're definitely down there by the pond. There's a fucking Montesa laying on its side. I picked it up, and I looked at it. It had a weird-looking ilm on it. I said, this is an old Mako? And he's like, no, that's a Montesa. He said, it's an Italian Honda or some shit like that. I was like, what, you don't want it or what? I'll take it. Fuck yeah, I'll take it. So we'll let you know what's up with the Montesa, what it turns out to be, because, man, I looked at some pictures, and it reminds me, I had a 1976 Honda MR 250 Elsinore. And yeah, I traded it off. I had it for a while. I built it right after September 11th of 2001, and I finally traded it off in 2012 for, it was a good trade. The Elsinore had been sitting for so long. I took that son of a bitch and got new tires put on it, and immediately, whenever I got it back from putting the new tires on, I noticed that they were dry rotted. So that was one thing. I called them, and you know how it is with some motorcycle places. It's like, well, we got your money, motherfucker. They sold me some old-ass tires for my old bike. They looked good. I went ahead and just armor all the shit out of them and kept them on there. What are you going to do? That's what happens whenever I don't do that stuff myself, because I farmed it out, and it was before I did that shit myself, like 100%. Which I'm not saying, look, I mean, and before, it pisses me off because before that I would take motorcycles apart by hand just to paint them, you know what I mean? And put back together to redo. And at this point, I'm making, really, really good money. So I had to let someone else put hands on my motorcycles. And motherfucker broke one of my rear spokes and put dry rotted ass tires on it. So, but the point is that I had it for 9 years and then traded it off for a Dan Wesson 357 Magnum with the 8-inch barrel. 8-inch vented barrel, Packmeyer grips. Badass gun. Not something that you would ever carry. It's something that's just cool factor from hell. So yeah, that's really kind of what, I had a guy come by today and it was like, wanting to know if I want a go-kart. And I was like, well, I don't know. Hop in your truck, let's go look at it. I'll go and look at it. Hey, how can you pass up a Yerf Dog go-kart with a 5 horsepower Tecumseh motor that starts and runs? But he said he couldn't let his grandkids drive it because it didn't have brakes. It's missing the bar that goes from the brake pedal back to the brake thingy. The brake, the disc, or the freaking metal spanner that goes around at the metal. I guess you would call that the brake pad. Well, it's missing the brake pad actuator. And so I say, can't let his grandkids ride it, drive it, or whatever. So I was like, dude, I mean, I don't know. Let's go look at it. We went and looked at it. It's nice. It's red. It says Yerf Dog on the side. It has seat belts, 2-seater, $150. I said, I'm in. It's cool. I said, hey, you looked at the little packs. The packs does $500. Just give me $300 in the go-kart, and we'll call it good. So he's gonna ask his wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about making a deal, making something happen today. And we're not talking like it's thousands of dollars anyway. It's not going to break anybody, guys. These are cheap toys. Kids. I guess whatever keeps us off the streets. And I have looked. There's always that's like the guy that I got this one, the little pag from. I mean, hey, get it. I bought it. And then what I told him is, yeah, man, anything with a motor, anything motorcycles, 4-wheelers, stuff like that, let me know. I'd be interested in that kind of thing. And then he stopped by today, saw the little motorcycle out there going. He was like, damn, you got that thing going already? I said, look, I don't fuck around, dude. That's what I do. I said, that's, I told him what I did. And he's like, you know what? I might know where there's another motorcycle. I'm going to go talk to them right now. I said, cool, go talk to them, dude. And he said, I think it's a Harley. I said, fuck, I'd rather, hey, let's go get it. I'm going to go check that shit out. Let's make something happen. So yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get, guys. That's, And I know you guys aren't looking for old junk motorcycles and stuff that you can restore and revamp and rebuild and redo. But, some of us, that's kind of how we make a living. Pick up somebody else's old motorcycle that's, that's not up to par and completely tear it all the way apart. And that's something that I really miss, is having the facility and the ability to take every single piece of a motorcycle apart with surgical precision. I'd really like to go all the way downtown with them. Like I did back years ago. One of the first bikes that I did that to and took the engine and everything off of was a Yamaha FCR, but it was an FCR 400, which the difference between the 400 and the 600 is the 400 had an aluminum frame, back in the late 80s, and the